And let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Oh, okay. Thanks for confirming. Okay, guys. So, like what I believe is like if you understand any concept like thoroughly, like not just straightforward into the concept, like if you understand that 360 degrees of the concept, like it enables you to handle any kind of scenarios in future. So by keeping that in my mind, I have designed the course in such a way that in the first 2 or 3 sessions of our training, we'll be like mostly discussing the theoretical concepts, and that too it's not just the product related concepts but the generic stuff. So what we generally do with the product and why it even exists and what kind of problems it solves. So that creates a strong foundation for us, like in order to understand like what exactly we are doing and what this product is all about and what is the scope of this product in any organization. Okay, so like please bear with me for first 2 sessions because I know like theory will always be boring, but these are the core foundations that we really need. And from third session onwards, like we'll go hands-on. We'll start in like creating our own lab, and from that time onwards, like the lab and the theory sessions goes hand in hand. Okay. So with that being said, so let's see what is the agenda for today's session. So in today's session, we are going to see like what is SailPoint IIQ, because this is the tool that we are going to learn. So before learning this tool, we'll see like what the SailPoint IIQ is, and we'll also see what do we mean by IAM, and within IAM space, like where this particular SailPoint IIQ fits in, and what are the different IAM problems solved by the tool that we are going to use. Okay, and we'll also discuss like we are going to learn SailPoint IIQ, but who are our competitors and what are the other products that are available in the market. Okay. And we'll also see what are the different products available within SailPoint itself. Okay. So we'll cover all these topics in today's session. Okay. So let's get started with our first concept called what is SailPoint IIQ. Okay. So this SailPoint IIQ and also called as SailPoint IdentityIQ. So it signifies identity intelligence. Okay, so like it intelligently deals with the identities. So that's why the product is named as SailPoint IAQ or Identity IQ. So this is basically an identity and access management solution. It's a product, and it's a product from identity and access management domain. And to be more precise, it's basically an IGA tool, identity governance and administration tool. And this tool is created by a company called SailPoint. Okay, so whenever we say SailPoint, like if you are someone like who is not an SailPoint IAQ person or SailPoint person, then if someone tells you like what is someone refers SailPoint, like we don't know which tool we refer. But now, like if you become a like SailPoint person, like you should be more precise. You should be more like clear about using the terminology going forward. So whenever any person says SailPoint, so be clear, it is not the tool, it's a company. Okay. So within SailPoint, we have a tool called IIQ, or sometimes we call it as Identity IQ. So this Identity IQ is the actual tool, not SailPoint. Okay, so that's why like I clearly mentioned, this is an identity and access management solution by SailPoint. SailPoint is the vendor, and it is used to solve some of the enterprise IAM problems. And why I mentioned enterprise IAM problems? So by using this Identity IQ, we are going to manage access for only the organizations and the people working in the organization. Okay, so we are not going to handle any access related stuff for customers. Customers in the sense like common people like us. For example, if you have an internet banking application, you are a customer to the bank. and we are not managing the customer's access. It's just the employees access, like we are managing through this. Okay. So that's how the complete definition was put together. It's basically an identity and access management solution by company called SailPoint, and this tool is used to solve some of the enterprise IAM problems. Okay. So now let's break down this very same definition itself. So if we break it down, like we'll clearly understand like what each terminology that we define signifies. Okay. So what is IAM? First thing. So as we have some of the folks here like who already have some knowledge and experience working in this domain. So I would like to hear from you, like, what is your definition of IAM?
It's identity access management to
Yes,
manage,
absolutely.
manage corporate level users' identity.
Yes, exactly right. And any other definitions? Yeah, I think explanation is right here. Okay, so as you mentioned, so this is an identity and access management domain. It's basically a domain, and to be more precise, it's a subdomain of cybersecurity. Okay, if you take the cybersecurity landscape, there are various domains. We have like threat hunting, bug bounty, like network security. We have different kind of domains. Among that, IAM is an one such subdomain. So basically, whenever we say IAM, like we are part of cybersecurity. Okay, it's a subdomain of cybersecurity, and within the cybersecurity, like by using some of the standards of cybersecurity and some of the core principles of cybersecurity, like will secure the data and the customer's environment. Okay, so that is what we basically do using IAM. Okay, so we mentioned some core principles, right? So some core principles of IAM. So what are those? So going forward, when we do our real life implementation, we'll be covering all these concepts. So among them, the first concept is called least privilege. So it's an IAM concept. So that basically says, like, if there is any person working for an organization and if you are providing any access to the person, the access should be minimum enough to carry forward his day-to-day work. So when we say least privilege, we should provide only the minimum required access. We should not provide any additional access for the user than what is required, or we should not provide any access lesser than what is required. Okay, so if you provide additional access, it leads into like some security issues. The person may misuse the access. Okay, which is again a security issue. And let's suppose if you provide something less than what is required, then the person cannot do his day-to-day work, or he cannot do his job properly. So that's why like this is one of the principles of IAM that we follow in our implementation scenarios most of the time. Okay. And the other principle that we follow is zero trust. Okay. So everything should be recorded and audited. And like whenever there are any access requests, like it should go through proper approvals. So we'll identify the concerned persons, like whenever there is any activity happening. Let's say like someone requested for access or someone trying to delete something. Like we are not going to happen it automatically, or we're not going to let it happen easily. So we have the check marks put everywhere. Like if you want to perform something, like we'll identify like who is the proper owner or who is the decision maker, who needs to be informed about that action. We'll put some approval process, and after the concerned party's approval itself, like we'll perform that activity. So that is where like we'll enforce zero trust. And even while putting the approvals, like everything will be audited and recorded, so that if there is any audit, like we can see clearly show the evidence, like whatever maybe the action happened, like why it happened and how it happened. So that is what this zero trust covers basically. And the other one is called data integrity. So you guys might have heard about this terminology. like when we generally talk about cybersecurity, like people talk about that CIA triad. Okay, like in that, like data integrity, I stands for integrity. It plays a major role. Okay, so when we say integrity, it basically says the data present should not be accessed or modified by any unauthorized personnel. So that is what this data integrity says. And when we go ahead and implement the SailPoint Identity IQ, we'll be handling a lot of data. We'll be creating some data, we'll be like pulling some data from external sources, and we'll be keeping it in SailPoint. So as we are dealing with data, we must adhere to this data integrity principle as well. We have to make sure that the data is not tampered or accessed by any unauthorized person. So we have a lot of like checkpoints in place, like we are following this data integrity principle as well. Okay, so no matter what tool we are using, so be it SailPoint IIQ or be it any other tool, so these are the basic foundations. So these are the domain related principles and foundations that we follow. It's a conceptual thing that we follow when we do the real-time implementation. So no matter what tool we are using, but we must stick to these security principles and standards, because like these are the core principles of our IAM. So if you follow these principles while implementing your tool, like your implementation will be successful and it will be robust, and we can say like it's a complete implementation of our solution. Okay, so I'm taking a pause here, and let me know if you guys have any doubts so far, like whatever we discussed.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, like if you have any confusions or if you feel like I'm going too fast, and like, if you're not able to catch something, like you can also like highlight it then and there itself, like please feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. Got it? Can we go further?
Yes. Oh, by the way,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah,
what's your name? So I
I'm
forgot to ask
Kalyan.
you. Italian?
Yes.
Okay. Like Italian?
No, no, I'm Indian. Let me like spell my name in the chat. Yeah, I pinged my name in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Kalyan.
Yeah.
Italian.
Okay. Good to go.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, like, let's let's forget about this SailPoint IAQ for now. Like, don't be a like a product specific at least for now. Let's make it very generic. So we are in cybersecurity domain, and within cybersecurity, like we are into IAM. Okay, so we are doing something like we are going to solve some of the IAM related stuff. Okay, let's think in that perspective for now. So, why do we need this IAM? Why do we even need this? And what are the problems that the IAM domain or the organizations are facing with respect to IAM, and how we are going to solve them? Like, first of all, let's discuss about the problems. Then we'll see like how we are going to solve them using our tools. So I believe this. Like, if there is any tool or any product that exists in an organization, so there will be a purpose for that. So there might be a pain point, or it could be because of some automation purpose, or it could be to accelerate their business or accelerate their process. Like there will be a process. Because of that, there exists a solution. I mean, basically the technical solution in the form of a product or tool. So similarly, there must be some problems faced by the organizations, and in order to solve those problems, like we do have tools exist, like the IAM tools exist. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss what are those problems. Okay, so let's imagine a scenario where we don't have any IAM tools. Nothing is there. It is just the ticketing tool that is available in the organization. Okay, and a new employee joined. Okay, so the ideal scenario would be like, as we only have a ticketing tool, the ideal scenario is like once this person onboards into the organization, there will be a manager assigned to this person, and that manager will go and raise request for access for this user in the ticketing tool. Let's say this person need access in 3 applications. Okay, so let's say email. So he need access to mail, his like login, and he also need access to timesheet. Let's imagine like these are the 3 access that is required for this newly joined employee. So now the manager goes to the ticketing tool, be it Jira, ServiceNow, or any ITIM tool. So he will raise a request for creating new email, and he will raise request for creating new login ID for the user, and he will create a request for timesheet. And each application will be managed by different teams. Okay, and there will be one request for email team, one request for the uh, Active Directory team, and one request for the timesheet application team. Okay, and they manually have to create the accounts, and we need to pass the data manually. So this manual account creation may take like 2 to 3 days, or sometimes even more, depending on the operational efficiency of that particular team. And we may also have this concern of data issues. For example, like in a typo, the name may go something in one request, the mail in the name may go differently for the other request. Okay, so there are chances that like happening of typos. So such issues are anyhow there, but we need to again take follow up with the team for individual tickets. And once the access gets created, like it may take time. Let's imagine like it takes 10 days of time or even more in order to get all the necessary access created for the newly joined person. Okay, so imagine the time and also the amount of efforts we need to put in. So creating individual tickets, taking follow-ups, passing in data, all those efforts goes. So here the main problem is lack of productivity. Let's say this person joined the organization today, and he will be waiting till next 10 to 15 days to start working. So till the time, like, will not yield any productivity from that newly joined employee, but the organizations will be paying. Okay, so here there is no productivity and cost is involved. So this is a problem, and there is scope for acceleration of the process. Okay, and this is only the scenario we discussed, like for the scenario where the employees join the organization. So what if the employee is like getting promoted, or if the employee role is getting changed, like where he changed from an like engineer to an a lead, something like that. So again, like we need to modify access in different applications, and in order to modify access, we need to create the request, like take follow-ups, and again it takes time. Okay, and here the productivity is hampered, that is well understood. And here comes the major part. Suppose a person is leaving the organization. Okay, if any person leaves the organization, then obviously we need to remove the access. And when we need to remove the access, we cannot remove access like before the last working day of the user, because like again productivity issues, like if the person have something to complete, then he cannot complete those activities if we remove the access early. And what if we don't remove the access even after 1 or 2 days of the last working day of the user? So there are high risk of data theft. So if the person is no longer an employee or no longer associated with the organization, and if we are not removing the access, there are possible scenarios of data theft, data loss, and the person may like damage the systems. Anything, any like worst thing can happen, right? So this is a risky part. So this is very high risk. So we have to make sure that we are removing the access of the person like on his last working day, like soon after his like last working day, immediately. Okay, so this is a major problem, not removing the access, and the risk associated with this is very high. So in the first scenario we spoke, like where the person is joining the organization, here there is no risk, but only the productivity is impacted and some cost is involved. But imagine this, if there is any data loss, data theft, or any data leaks, the risk is very high. It could be like from a data loss to even damaging the reputation of the company, or even the entire company may collapse, because now we are living in a digital world and all the assets of the organization lies in their data. Let's say if there is any manufacturing company, if the designs gets leaked, then done, their complete like entire business will shut down, right? And let's say like if there is any like customer, like if the customer data gets leaked, it's obviously an what we can say reputation issue. Okay, so this is a problem, high risk problems, if you don't remove the access on time. And imagine like raising a ticket for removing the access, and again they are taking 10 to 15 days to remove the access also. So we cannot wait that long, and this is not at all like acceptable, right? Because there is high risk. Okay, and these are the major problems we can consider for now. Like these are like basic and high level problems that we discuss. And also when it comes to data and access, we'll have a lot of compliance related things to cover, like access reviews and auditing, all of this. So all of this will become hectic. Imagine doing access reviews manually, but the tools like SailPoint basically makes it easy. Like it automates it out, it creates a user-friendly interface in order to perform access reviews as well. Okay, so these are the problems that we can majorly discuss. So I know like there are some in-depth problems, like minute problems also, but at the very high level, if you imagine a situation without any tools like SailPoint IIQ, so this is how the situation looks. So now we are going to solve these problems. We are going to solve these problems by implementing our tool, basically an IAM tool. It could be anything. Okay, so these are the high level problems that we can highlight as of now. And in order to solve these problems, what are the tools that are available in the market as of now? So we know we are going to learn SailPoint IIQ, but what are the other tools we have? Who are the vendors of the tools? Let's discuss this. Okay. So the first tool we can discuss is OEM, the legacy one. It's been there in the market since many days. So OEM is nothing but the Oracle Identity Manager. So this is an IAM tool, basically an identity administration and governance tool from Oracle. Okay, so now this Oracle tool is not that widely used, because like Oracle used to be like a super good tool previously, but nowadays like it's getting very hard, because the scope it is providing for customizations and the kind of features it is offering and the kind of product support that Oracle is providing, and also the cost associated with this. So by considering all this, like Oracle it's lagging, and even they are not frequently coming with new product features and updates. Okay, but at least like there is a tool called OEM by Oracle that exists in within our IGA or IAM landscape. Okay, and we have one another tool called CA Sitefinder, not widely used, but one another tool. And this OEM is an like it's a not cloud-based one, it's an on-premise tool. Like we'll get the installer here, OEM, and we'll use it. And the next one like we need to think about is Savient. So this Savient is a cloud-based solution. So they don't have any like on-premise solutions. They'll not give us any installers or anything. It's completely cloud built. So this Savient is one of the major competitors of SailPoint. Okay, so the kind of approach they have towards their solution and the way they are growing, like it's really impressive. And if there is any product in the market like which is coming in close competition to SailPoint, then it's Savient. Okay, the company name itself is Savient, and the product itself is Savient itself. So within Savient, like they have like subdomains called IGA, PAM, something like that. Okay, so if you want to implement an IGA solution, it will be like SailPoint IGA. Right? And no matter what, the current leader in the market, current leader in the IAM market is like SailPoint itself. So SailPoint is leading the industry now, but Savient is something like which is next close to SailPoint. Okay. And we have one other tool called ISIM. It is from IBM. So nowadays, like most of the people are migrating from these IBM's ISIM to other tools. Even if you look into the kind of products, kind of projects that are coming to the companies, so some of them are migration projects. And if it is a migration project, mostly it involves like ISIM. So it's a legacy tool, and the features that are present are very basic and minimum, and people are like not at all okay with that. And as IBM is not updating the features, or they're not coming up with any solutions, like people are migrating their system from this IBM's ISIM to new one. This is called identity security and identity management. So this is what this ISIM stands for. So these are the few products that are available in the market that are basically used to solve these IAM problems that we have discussed. So apart from these like we have our SailPoint related products. And as we discussed, within SailPoint, we have something called IIQ, which stands for Identity IQ. And we have something called SailPoint Identity Now as well. So nowadays, like the SailPoint Identity Now is also named as ISC, Identity Security Cloud. Okay. So both of these tools are from SailPoint itself. Okay. And the kind of job that is done by both the tools, it's same. The problems solved by these two tools are same. Okay. So if it is same, why do we even have two different products? Why do we have SailPoint IAQ and why do we have SailPoint Identity Now? So this is the question. So do you guys have any idea about IAQ and Identity Now? Have you heard of it before?
Yeah, I think IIQ is an on-prem solution and IdentityNow is a cloud solution.
Yes, exactly. So this is the major difference. So when SailPoint started their IGA journey, so they developed Identity IQ. So which is basically an on-premise solution. Okay. So going forward, like cloud became a fancy word, and it's a buzz everywhere. Like most of the organizations are preferring cloud. And as I mentioned, the Savient, right? So it's a cloud-based solution, and it is like capturing the market. So it is taking out most of the customers like who are looking for like cloud-based solutions. So in order to meet the market competition and in order to be like future ready, SailPoint have worked on another product and it developed another tool called SailPoint Identity Now, or also called as a SailPoint Identity Security Cloud. So this is basically a cloud-based solution. Okay. So like SailPoint intelligently, they're continuing the on-premise solution, and also like if you are like worried about cloud things, like they have that solution as well, so that they will not lose any of their customers. Okay. So this is the major difference. So this is the major reason for having two different tools for very same solution. Okay. Like any doubts for now? Like among these available tools, like among these IAM tools, like we are going to learn about SailPoint IAQ in deep. So we are going to learn about this tool. And before learning this tool, like this is the history, like these are the different tools available. And we also discuss the purpose for creating these tools, right? So like we know the problem. Now we are going to use this solution, this particular product as a solution to solve those problems. Okay. So any doubts?
Is a
Any
cloud
question?
solution and the on-prem solution pretty much, I know on-prem required more config and all that stuff. Is a cloud solutions pretty straightforward then if you know the IIQ?
Yes. So concepts are pretty much same, but the only difference from an implementation point of view, if you see, the only difference is the terminology may change slightly. For example, our purpose is to create identities and to manage them. And the way it is done in IAQ and IdentityNow, it's same. But in case of IdentityNow, the implementation scenario may differ. Like it's product specific. Suppose in IdentityIQ, like we'll have one option like where we onboard the application and we'll create like application source, everything. But in IdentityNow, it varies slightly, but the concept will be same. And terminology will changes. In case of SailPoint, we call it as application onboarding and we refer those as applications. But when it goes to IdentityNow, they call it as source, like simply source. That's it. So if you are good with IIQ, then you can easily learn IdentityNow as well. It's all about the terminology and the differences that we need to be aware of. The rest of the things will be same. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. So we'll discuss about this topic called like a high level architecture of SailPoint IAQ in our next session. So from here, like we'll be like narrow downing the scope. Like now, as of now, like we are discussing the things at very high level, like from the IAM domain point of view, on the problems point of view, on different kind of solutions that we have. Now we are like narrowing down. We are going to be very specific about our tool, SailPoint IIQ. And we'll see like what is the very high level architecture of the SailPoint IIQ, like what are the different components involved, how they are connected. We'll discuss all those things. And again, like within the software components, like we'll deep dive, like which versions we will be using, which versions are supported. All of those things we'll be discussing in our next session. Okay. So for now, like I am stopping the session here and I will take the rest of the time for any of the doubts you have. If you have any particular expectations about the tool, or if you are looking for any particular concepts also, like you can let me know so that accordingly we'll take it forward. All good? Do you have any questions or any doubts?
No, I think it's good. You've done a great job explaining.
Yeah, thank you. And believe me, like I know like it's hard to listen, but going forward, I'll make it more interactive and I'll make it more interesting because we'll be dealing with lab, right? So that will be more interesting. But these foundations are really important. Like